Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to this video. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. Today is Mindful Monday, and on these Mindful Mondays and in these videos, I am going to guide you through the steps of the Zentangle method of drawing. It is a meditative art form, and hopefully via this medium, it will help you to take some time for yourself to bring yourself into the moment. Forget about all your cares and worries and just let them set aside for a moment, long enough for us to just kind of do some drawing. We're going to draw patterns. They're going to be easy to draw. I'm going to guide you through each step. So let's go right ahead and begin with step one. Step one is gratitude and appreciation. In step one, I'm going to take you through a little breathing exercise that hopefully will help you get settled into this moment. So we'll start with a few deep breaths in and breathing in, getting tall as you do, and breathing out and just dropping your shoulders and relaxing everything down. And again, breathing in, rising up, and exhale and relax. And one more deep breath in. And out. Now just let your breathing fall into a natural rhythm and follow it. Breathing in, breathing out. Whether they're short breaths or long breaths, it's okay. Just focus on that breath. And try to clear your mind of your thoughts. They will pop in as they do. Just acknowledge them and let them go. And go back to focusing on your breath. And this is a good time to stop and think of something that you're grateful for today, right now in this moment. It can be something big or something small. And once you have that, just sit with that for a bit. Pay attention to how that feels. How does gratitude feel? And remember to breathe. As we draw today, remember this feeling of gratitude. And if you reach a point in your drawing or even in your day where you just need to stop, get back on track, just stop and take a big breath in and out. You might need two. It's okay. But you'll feel better and you'll be ready to go back to your drawing. That is step one. That's all there is to this step. Step two, we use our pencil, and I'm going to put a dot in each of the corners of our tile. Step three is to connect those dots to create a border. Step four is our string. Now today I'm going to do something a little different. Today's string, I'm going to use a letter, and because my name is Brenda, I'm going to use the letter B. So I am going to draw just a very basic letter B with my pencil. Now that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to pick up my pen, and I'm using a Micron PN pen today. And we are going to draw 3 tangles today. We're going to start with one that is going to make the straight line of my B. Now this tangle is called Xander, and it looks like a bunch of, I don't know, straw, sticks, bundles. It's like a bundle of sticks or straw or something like that. And it starts with making the rings that are going to hold this bundle together. So this is going to make my bundle. I'm going to go ahead and start with my first wrap around, I guess, here. And so I have this upside down kind of sideways C shape that touches, it wraps around the back of this shape, and that is going to make our section for the band. Now the next step to this is I just bring it down here and up around. I'm going to do this 2 more times on this band. Okay, now these bands are going to be solid black. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with solid black now. So I'm going to leave this little section here open so it looks like it's going around. And I like to leave a little sparkle in my Xander. So I'm going to bring it down around this borderline a little bit, and then I'm going to come around to the other side and bring my black in this side. And then I'm going to bring it up to maybe about there, filling this in behind it and leaving this open. Okay. And I like the scratchy edges on it. So there's my first band. So I'm going to come down here with my second one. Now you do not have to make these bands solid black. I'm just doing that today. I'm trying to kind of line up my sparkles on my band so they're in essentially the same spot on each band. They don't have to be, but sometimes that's how a reflection might work, but not always. And remember, there are no mistakes, so it's all good. Okay, so I have my bands for my Xander tangle. And the next thing I'm going to do is draw my lines of sticks. And I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to use my border line to begin. And then I'm going to go where my sparkle is, and I'm going to do a line that breaks up in the center. And I'm going to do one on each side of it. Turn it around and do this side next. And I'm putting sparkles in all of these, but they don't have to be uniform, except for the edges. These and these, above the first band and below the last band, those are not broken up, just the ones in the center, these two. So all I have left to do now is to continue with these auras, and I am not going to put any sparkle in the rest of them. So mine kind of flare out a little bit on the bottom, and that's okay. And I'm going to do one more in each of the sides. It's going to be really tight, but this makes the edges a little darker, and that helps with the illusion of dimension that it's going around. So there you have Xander. We're done with our first tangle. Our next tangle, well, our other two tangles, I should say, are going to go inside of the rounded sections of my bee. But first, I want to define those. And now I want to draw an aura inside each one of these. I just love to aura spaces. That seems to just finish them off nicely, I guess. So the next tangle we're going to put in the bottom down here. And this is a tangle that starts with a bunch of circles, and it's called jetties. Now I'm going to go ahead. You've seen me draw tipple if you've watched my videos. It's very similar to tipple. And I'm going to make my circles pretty large. And these are going to go behind each other. I might have a part of one on the edge. They can be different sizes. As you can tell, my circles are not always very circular. Okay, so I have my spaces all filled up, and you can see that lots of them go behind each other, which is going to add some nice interest to this tangle. The next step for jetties is to create a stripe in the center of each of our circles. Now, we want these to vary in direction, and somehow I always think of these as looking a little bit like billiards balls. Not sure why, I just always think of that when I'm drawing these. And these curved bands around these circles is what really helps to give it dimension, make them look spherical. There are lots of ways to decorate this tangle, and today we're just going to use one simple one. Okay, I think I have them all. Now, I'm going to make all of these bands black, solid black, but I'm going to leave a little sparkle in each one. In this case, it will not matter where you leave it because they're all going different directions, so it doesn't matter. And I may skip some and not put sparkles in all of them. It just depends. We'll see. Remember, there are no mistakes. And like I said, there are several different ways to decorate these, so you can feel free to put your own touch on if you like. See, I'm not going to put a sparkle on this one. This guy goes behind two others. He may not have any reflection showing. And you're just one at a time, touching each one of your circles and your jetties and adding a black stripe. Don't worry about the one you just did. Don't worry about what you're going to do next. Just work on the one you've got. And what I did here was to just leave a little white space between the band on this circle and the band on our Xander because I wanted some separation. You wouldn't have to do that. That would kind of disappear anyway once we do our shading, but I just wanted to show you that sometimes I do that just to keep it separated. But there's no mistakes, and there's certainly not something you would have to do. Okay, I'm down to my last one, I think. I will have all of the bands on my jetties done. Okay. I do have all the bands done. They've all got a little sparkle, most of them. And what I'm going to do now is to add an extra aura around the band. So I'm going to put a line under it and a line over it, unless I don't have enough room. If I don't have enough room, I'll just do one line. Like this might just get one. Now this will be something you can do or not, depending on how large you drew your circles. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to, or if you feel you don't have enough room for it. Some of my smaller ones I'm leaving without a band, and some only get one. So I think I'm done drawing my jetties. I'm going to be good with that, and we're going to move on to our third tangle. And that tangle is a grid tangle. It's going to go in the upper section of my bee. And I like to draw my grids on the diagonal, so this is no exception. And I'm not making these too large because the space is really not that large. So we're drawing the tangle floors in this upper section in this grid. But instead of putting my little diamonds on each intersection point, I'm going to draw a little black pearl. And I'm going to leave a little white space where I can. Okay, and you notice that the sparkles are not all in the same spot, and it's totally fine. So we are done drawing our patterns, our tangles. We are moving on now to step 6, which is the shading. And I'm going to pick my pencil back up, and I'm going to begin with shading Xander, because that's where we started here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a pretty heavy line of graphite underneath my bands. Then I'm going to, with my tortillon, I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. Not too far, just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to get my pencil back out. Now I am going to put a line of graphite right on each of the sides. And I'm also going to put a little bit inside each one of these. And just start pulling this inward. And I'll do the other side. Okay, so that's all there is to shading Xander. You can continue to pull this in a little bit if you want. You might just go around the border so it's not so stark white. But there is Xander. Okay, now I'm going to take my pencil back out, and we're going to do some shading here with the jetties. And I'm going to start by shading everywhere there's an overlap. I'm going to try not to get too much on the black. There's a pretty good amount of overlap here, but that's good. And I'm just putting a little bit in all these empty spaces between them. Okay, that should be plenty of graphite. So I've got my tortillon back out, and I am going to just kind of start by blending away from the edges. Okay, I think I've covered most of the overlapping areas. So I'm just not putting any more on, just kind of blending around some of the edges. I don't want too much graphite, so I'm not necessarily gonna do all of them, but some of them look really white. This way I'll get a little bit more contrast and a little bit more round in the look, I guess. Okay, well, we don't have to get crazy. That looks pretty good to me, and that is all there is to shading jetties. Now, the last section we have to shade is our floors with our little black pearls in there. And because the shape is not very large, and I don't want to get too crazy, I am just going to add graphite to the inside aura line, I guess, the perimeter of where my pattern is. And we're just going to aura around the perimeter. There's lots of different ways to shade all of these patterns, and I just usually pick one way when I'm doing a video for you. But I kind of like this look, and you just have to shade any more would just kind of, I think, make it look too dark. So the last thing I want to do with my pencil before I put it away is in these aura sections here. There's a little bit of pencil line, and I just kind of want to blend that out and give this a little bit of color, a shade of gray, if you will, so that it stands out a little bit from the background. I'll just go around, and I'm just using the graphite that's already on my tortillon, and then anything else, like there's a little bit of borderline in there that I blended out. I'll blend that back around. Okay, that is all there is. I think I'm done with my tangles, and I'm done with my shading, and I am moving on to step 7, which is initial and sign. So I'm going back to my PN pen, and I'm going to put my chop in here. I think I'll just put it down here in this corner, and it'll kind of tuck a little bit behind my B. Perfs in there. So there's my chop, or my initials, on the front. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to sign it on the back. And you can date it. I'll date mine off camera. And then I'm going to go ahead and name my tangles. So we began with sander, and then we did jetties, and then we did floors, and we just used our initial, or my initial, for our string. It's just something a little bit different today. You can put any notes that you want on the back of your artwork, your tiles. I'm going to make a note that this was done for my Mindful Monday 47 video. And we are all finished drawing. We can put our pen away. And step 8 is simply to appreciate what you've done and be grateful for the time that you've given yourself, to be a little bit of mindfulness, to bring a little bit of mindfulness into your day, and appreciate what you've done. I'm always a little bit surprised at the end of my drawing, and hopefully you are enjoying what you drew as well. Now, if you'd like to watch me drawing these patterns by themselves, You can find some links at the end of this video, and you will also find links to each one of these tangles in the description below. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Remember, I love to see your work if you're drawing along. So remember, go ahead and tag me when you post those things. And until next time, be you and be happy.